The Labour Party leadership election of 2016 was called when a challenge to Jeremy Corbyn as leader of the Labour Party arose following criticism of his allegedly weak support for the Remain campaign in the referendum on membership of the European Union. After a period of tension over Corbyn's leadership, the immediate trigger to events was the Leave result of the referendum. Hilary Benn, the shadow Foreign Secretary, was sacked by Corbyn on the 25th of June after Benn expressed no confidence in him. More than 24 members of the shadow cabinet resigned over the following 2 days, and a no-confidence vote was supported by 172 MPs in the Parliamentary Labour Party, against 40 supporting Corbyn. It was reported that Tom Watson, the deputy leader, told Corbyn that he would face a challenge to his position as leader. Corbyn stated that he would not resign. By the end of June, Angela Eagle and Owen Smith were being promoted as intending to contest the leadership. Eagle announced her candidacy on the 11th of July, with Smith doing likewise on the 13th of July. The National Executive Committee decided that, as the incumbent, Corbyn would be automatically included on the ballot without requiring nominations from the parliamentary party. Some political analysts had previously predicted that Corbyn would struggle to obtain the requisite number of signatures had that been required. Eagle pulled out of the race on the 19th of July, leaving Smith to challenge Corbyn from the leadership in a head-to-head race. Eagle said that she would back Smith after she had attracted fewer nominations. Smith told the BBC that Eagle was a star, and that she would be at right hand if he won the leadership. Background: 2015 leadership election. Jeremy Corbyn was one of 4 candidates for the Labour Party leadership in the 2015 leadership election, triggered by the resignation of Ed Miliband as leader. He qualified for the ballot at the last minute, nominated by 36 MPs, the majority of whom did not support him but felt that the party should be able to vote on a wider range of candidates. Despite being the most unpopular option with the Parliamentary Labour Party, with only 13 MPs voting for him, he received 59.5% of the first preference votes from an electorate consisting of party membership, members of affiliated trade unions and supporters who paid £3 to have a vote. Leadership challenge. When it became clear that Jeremy Corbyn would win the leadership election in 2015, the possibility of a coup, a challenge to his leadership, was predicted by Labour MP Simon Danczuk. A leadership challenge was then much discussed in the British press in November due to a split in the parliamentary party over the prospect of Britain's participation in airstrikes in Syria. Another potential coup was predicted in April after Ken Livingstone's allegedly anti-Semitic comments led to his suspension, and shadow cabinet members allegedly held talks with plotters. Journalists at The Guardian reported that a small group of Labour MPs and advisers had been telling journalists for months to expect movement against Corbyn on the 24th of June. After the referendum, the pressure on Corbyn intensified as a result of the European Union referendum and dissatisfaction with his level of support for the losing Remain campaign. On the 25th of June, a Saving Labour campaign website was created to encourage members of the public to email MPs to urge them not to back Corbyn. On the 25th of June, Hilary Benn, a critic of Corbyn, contacted members of the shadow cabinet to inform them that he had lost confidence in Corbyn. He was subsequently sacked as shadow foreign secretary, triggering a series of shadow cabinet resignations. At least 20 individuals resigned over the next few days. An article in The Observer, published online at 10 p.m. on the 25th of June, claimed that Benn had been sounding out a coup against Corbyn. Corbyn assembled a new shadow cabinet, and insisted that he would not resign. A vote of no confidence in Corbyn was made by the parliamentary party on the 28th of June, with Corbyn losing the vote by 172 to 40, with 4 spoiled ballots and 13 absentees. Labour Party rules did not require Corbyn to resign as a result of the vote. Corbyn struggled to fill a new shadow cabinet, which had to be reduced in size from 31 to 25. The Scottish National Party sought to argue that they should become the official opposition in the Commons, with Labour unable to fill the role. Corbyn continued to refuse to step down as leader, saying that the ballot had no constitutional legitimacy, and he would not betray the members that elected him in the 2015 leadership election. Angela Eagle, a former member of his shadow cabinet who resigned after Benn's sacking, was said on the 30th of June to have the number of backers required to launch a challenge. Separate meetings to discuss the situation were held by Corbyn and Watson with Unite trade union leader Len McCluskey on the 5th of July, after the sacking of Hilary Benn and the vote of no confidence in Corbyn's leadership. Over 100,000 new members were reported to have joined the Labour Party by the 8th of July, taking membership numbers above 500,000. Both supporters and opponents of Corbyn have been signing up new members. By the 8th of July there were no declared leadership challenges. Corbyn had not resigned, and both his supporters and some critics considered that he was in a good position to win any leadership vote. Corbyn challenged the rebels to stand against him, and it was reported that Eagle had secured the support of at least the requisite number of nominations needed to launch a leadership bid. The following day, Eagle announced that she would formally launch her campaign on the 11th of July. In her speech, Eagle said, "Jeremy Corbyn is unable to provide the leadership this huge task needs." The party's National Executive Committee meeting on the 12th of July was expected to consider the arrangements for an election. The arrangements were decided by secret ballot, with the vote 18 to 14 in favour of the incumbent leader being automatically on the ballot. The NEC also decided to not allow members who joined the party in the past 6 months to vote in the leadership election. So the approximately 130,000 new members who had joined since the European Union referendum will be unable to vote. Registered supporters will have a period of 2 days to register at a fee of £25 and be entitled to vote. Additionally, the NEC ruled that local constituency Labour parties should not hold members' meetings during the leadership election period. There was pressure before the nominations close on the 20th of July for one of the two challenges, either Smith or Eagle, to withdraw in order to unify the anti-Corbyn campaign. The two agreed between themselves that whoever had fewest nominations from MEPs by the end of the working day on the 19th of July would withdraw in favour of the other. Eagle, with about 20 fewer nominations, did so, leaving Smith as the only challenger to Corbyn. She pledged her support for his campaign. Smith explained that his decision to run for leader was partly because the future of the Labour Party was at risk, stating that the possibility of split is dangerously real. The leadership race caused a crisis for the Labour Party, according to Andrew Rwendland, chief political commentator for The Observer. On the 24th of July 2016, he discussed the mutiny against Corbyn by the majority of MPs who voted against him in the no-confidence motion, but warned that they do not have the backing of a large chunk of the party's electorate that picks the leader, is wildly unrepresentative of the voters that Labour must persuade if the party is to survive as a plausible opposition, never mind become a viable competitor for power. Leadership contender Owen Smith had supported the campaign for Britain to remain in the European Union in the referendum on Britain's membership in June 2016. During an interview with the BBC, Smith opined that those who had voted with the Leave faction had done so because they felt a sense of loss in their communities' decline, cuts that have hammered away at vital public services, and they haven't felt that any politicians, certainly not the politicians they expect to stand up for them, the Labour Party, has been standing up for them. Procedure. As it was during the 2015 leadership election, the election was to be conducted under a pure one-member, one-vote system. Candidates would be elected by members and registered and affiliated supporters, who all receive a maximum of one vote, and all votes will be weighted equally. This means that, for example, members of Labour-affiliated trade unions need to register as affiliated Labour supporters to vote. To stand, challenge is needed to be nominated by at least 20% of the combined membership of the Parliamentary Labour Party and European Parliamentary Labour Party, i.e., 51 MEPs at the time, as the incumbent, Jeremy Corbyn, by decision of the National Executive Committee, will automatically be included on the ballot. The vote, as in previous elections, was held under the alternative vote system. The election itself was to be overseen by Electoral Reform Services. Timetable. The special conference at the end of the Collins Review concluded that all selection timetables should be, once started, as short as possible. The Collins report also states, the NEC should agree the detailed procedures for leadership elections, including issues regarding registration, fees, and freeze dates. The party required members to hold 6 months continuous party membership on the freeze date to be eligible to take part in a selection. The meeting of Labour's National Executive Committee on the 12th of July 2016 set a timetable and procedure for the election, though the party confirmed the timetable would be released when the leadership contest process begins on Thursday the 14th of July. The timetable was leaked immediately following the NEC meeting. The voting eligibility freeze date for membership is the 12th of January 2016. Those who joined after that date will have to pay £25 to sign up as a registered supporter in the 2-day window during the week of the 18th of July. Members of affiliated trade unions, socialist societies and other affiliated organizations who individually sign up as an affiliated supporter to the Labour Party must have been a member of that organization on or before the 12th of January 2016. The deadline to sign up as an affiliated supporter is the 8th of August 2016. Affiliated supporters already on the party's membership system will be eligible to vote, subject to affiliates reconfirming their eligibility. Originally, many people sought to join organizations such as Unite to gain a vote without paying Labour's £25 registered supporter fee. However, due to the freeze date for voter eligibility also applying to affiliated supporters, this union route will not be a possible way to gain a vote. On the 8th of August 2016, the High Court decided that the decision to disbar from voting members who joined in the 6-month preceding the election being called was contrary to the Labour Party rule book, and they were entitled to vote. This decision casts some doubt on the election timetable. In a critical passage of his judgment, Mr. Justice Hickenbottom found that, furthermore, there is no evidence of any suggestion by the party, the NEC, the Collins Review or any member of the party that a freeze date could be retrospective, until the procedures paper that Mr. McNichol prepared for the 12th of July 2016 NEC meeting. Indeed, the very opposite. The Procedures Subcommittee of the NEC immediately appealed the decision, and on the 12th of August 2016 the Court of Appeal reversed the High Court's decision. It concluded that under the party rules, the NEC had discretion to set any reasonable criteria for members to vote, and that there was no reason why an eligibility freeze date could not be in the past. The election timetable is as follows. Tuesday, the 12th of January 2016, members must join the Labour Party on or before this date to vote in the leadership election. Tuesday, the 12th of July 2016, timetable agreed. Thursday, the 14th of July 2016, timetable published. Monday, the 18th of July 2016, EPLP and PLP briefing, followed by EPLP and PLP hustings. Registered supporters applications open. Monday, the 18th of July 2016, EPLP and PLP nominations open. Wednesday, the 20th of July 2016, EPLP and PLP nominations close and supporting nominations open. Last date to join as registered supporter. Thursday, the 21st of July 2016, deadline for validly nominated candidates to consent to nomination. Friday, the 22nd of July 2016, hustings period opens. Monday, the 8th of August 2016, final date for membership arrears to be paid in full. Final date for updated affiliated supporter lists to be renewed. Monday, the 15th of August 2016, supporting nominations close. Monday, the 22nd of August 2016, ballot mailing dispatched. Wednesday, the 14th of September 2016, last date for electronic ballot reissues. Friday, the 16th of September 2016, hustings period closes. Wednesday, the 21st of September 2016, ballot closes. Saturday, the 24th of September 2016, special conference to announce result. Candidates. There had been some doubt over whether Corbyn would have been able to stand if he had needed to obtain 51 nominations like his challenges, as only 40 MPs supported him in the no-confidence motion and because the demand for Corbyn's resignation was the majority position of Labour's 20 MEPs. On the 12th of July, the National Executive Committee ruled that as the incumbent, Corbyn would automatically be included on the ballot by an 18-14 vote. The party's lawyers, GRM Law, as well as James Gowdy, had argued the party's constitution required Corbyn to secure nominations, but conflicting legal advice obtained by the Labour Party leadership and Unite from Doughty Street Chambers and Michael Mansfield, respectively, argued Corbyn should not need to obtain MEP support to be placed on the ballot of a leadership election, as the party rules only mentioned the need for challenges to receive nominations, and did not explicitly specify the same requirement for the incumbent. During the last leadership challenge on an incumbent leader, the incumbent, Neil Kinnock, did seek and obtain nominations, but some commentators, including BBC's Andrew Neil, believed that Kinnock may have done this voluntarily just to show his strength. Some political analysts had predicted that Corbyn would have had difficulty getting the requisite number of nominations from MEPs to stand, if this had been a requirement for his name to appear on the ballot. The results of an Ipsos Mori survey released on the 14th of July 2016 indicated that 66% of those surveyed believed that the Labour Party needed a new leader before the 2020 elections. As well, only 23% believed that Corbyn would make a good Prime Minister, while Theresa May had an approval rating of 55%. Nominated as the incumbent, Jeremy Corbyn, following an interpretation by the National Executive Committee of disputed Labour Party rules, was automatically included on the ballot. To be placed on the ballot, challenges to the leader had to be nominated by at least 20% of the combined membership of the Parliamentary Labour Party and European Parliamentary Labour Party, i.e., 51 MPs, MEPs. An MP or MEP who nominates a candidate does not have to subsequently support or vote for the candidate. In the past, some MPs have stated that they nominated only to ensure that a candidate got onto the ballot paper. However, it was expected that Corbyn would face a single, unity candidate after Angela Eagle and Owen Smith agreed that the person with fewer nominations from MEPs should step aside. In an interview, Smith offered the following endorsement of the former contender: "Angela is a star in the Labour firmament. She will be at my right hand throughout this contest, and if I am successful, Angela will be alongside me as my right-hand woman." Quote. He explained that his decision to run for leader was partly because the future of the Labour Party was at risk, stating that the possibility of split is dangerously real. A High Court legal challenge, brought by Labour donor and former parliamentary candidate Michael Foster, contesting the NEC's interpretation of the rules to allow Corbyn to be a candidate without having to secure nominations from Labour MEPs, was heard on the 26th of July 2016. Corbyn applied to the court, and was accepted, to be the second defendant with his own legal team, as Corbyn was particularly affected and particularly interested in the proper construction of the rules, and that General Secretary of the Labour Party Ian McNicol was being expected to vigorously defend a position which he regarded as incorrect prior to the NEC decision. The High Court ruled that there was no basis to challenge the NEC's decision that Corbyn should automatically be on the ballot. The number of MEPs next to the candidate's name below includes the candidate, who can count as one of the 51 MEPs needed. Public nominations for candidates by MEPs on the 19th of July were as follows: Owen Smith, MPs, Heidi Alexander, Rosna Allen Khan, Margaret Beckett, Clive Betts, Roberta Blackman Woods, Tom Blenkinsip, Paul Blomfield, Lynn Brown, Chris Bryant, Karen Buck, Richard Burden, Liam Byrne, Ruth Cadbury, Jenny Chapman, John Crudders, Judith Cummins, Alex Cunningham, Jim Cunningham, Wayne David, Michael Duffer, Clive Efford, Louise Ellman, Chris Elmore, Bill Esterson, Yvonne Fovargue, Vicky Foxcroft, Pat Glass, Roger Godsiff, Helen Goodman, Kate Green, Andrew Gwynn, Louise Hay, David Hanson, Carolyn Harris, Helen Hayes, Sue Heyman, John Healy, Kate Holland, Rupert Huck, Gerald Jones, Graham Jones, Helen Jones, Kevin Jones, Susan Elan Jones, Barbara Keeley, Emma Lou Buck, Ian Lucas, Holly Lynch, Justin Madders, Khalid Mahmood, Shabana Mahmood, Rob Maris, Chris Matheson, Kerry McCarthy, Conor McGinn, Liz McInnes, Catherine McKinnell, Jim McMahon, Ed Miliband, Jessica Morden, Lisa Nandy, Melanie On, Kai Onvora, Albert Owen, Teresa Pierce, Matthew Pennycook, Toby Perkins, Lucy Powell, Steve Reed, Christina Rees, Rachel Reeves, Jonathan Reynolds, Marie Rimmer, Paula Sheriff, Andy Slaughter, Jeff Smith, Nick Smith, Keir Starmer, Joe Stevens, Gareth Thomas, Nick Thomas Simmons, Anna Turley, Carl Turner, Stephen Twigg, Alan Whitehead, Ian Wright, Daniel Zeitner. MEPs, Linda McEvan, Derek Vaughan. Before dropping out of the race on the 19th of July, Angela Eagle had 72 nominations. Following Eagle's withdrawal, with nominations for candidates by MEPs still open until 1700 on Wednesday the 20th of July, Smith received the following additional 82 nominations by MEPs by close of nominations: Owen Smith, MPs, Rushnara Ali, Ian Austin, Adrian Bailey, Kevin Barron, Hilary Ben Bradshaw, Kevin Brennan, Vernon Coker, Anne Coffey, Julie Cooper, Yvette Cooper, Neil Coyle, Mary Cray, Stella Creasy, Nick Dakin, Gloria De Piero, Tarngam Debonair, Stephen Doughty, Jim Dowd, Jack Dromey, Angela Eagle, Maria Eagle, Julie Elliott, Chris Evans, Paul Farrelly, Jim Fitzpatrick, Rob Flello, Colleen Fletcher, Caroline Flint, Mike Gapes, Mary Glendon, Lillian Greenwood, Nia Griffith, Harriet Harman, Meg Hillier, Margaret Hodge, Sharon Hodgson, George Howarth, Tristram Hunt, Dan Jarvis, Alan Johnson, Diana Johnson, Mike Kane, Liz Kendall, Stephen Kinnock, Peter Kyle, Chris Leslie, Seema Milhotra, John Mann, Steve McCabe, Siobhan Ann McDonough, Pat McFadden, Alison McGovern, Madeline Moon, Ian Murray, Jess Phillips, Bridget Phillipson, Stephen Pound, Jamie Reed, Emma Reynolds, Joan Ryan, Barry Shearman, Gavin Shuker, Ruth Smith, Andrew Smith, Angela Smith, Karen Smith, John Speller, Wes Streeting, Stephen Timms, Chugga Amuna, Keith Vaz, Phil Wilson, John Woodcock, MEPs, Paul Brannan, Richard Corbett, Seb Dance, Teresa Griffin, Richard Howard, David Martin, Catherine Stiller, Glenys Wilmot. A total of 89 Labour MEPs did not nominate any candidate by the 19th of July. 79 MEPs did not nominate by the close of nominations. Supporting nominations declined: Hilary Benn, former Shadow Foreign Secretary, MP for Leeds Central; Yvette Cooper, former Shadow Home Secretary, candidate for leader in 2015, MP for Normanton, Pontefract and Castleford; Dan Jarvis, MP for Barnsley Central; Stephen Kinnock, MP for Aberavon; John McDonnell, Shadow Chancellor of the Exchequer, candidate for leader in 2007 and 2010, MP for Hayes and Harlington; Lisa Nandy, former Shadow Secretary of State for Energy and Climate Change, MP for Wigan; Sir Keir Starmer, MP for Holborn and St Pancras, a former Director of Public Prosecutions; Chugga Amuna, former Shadow Business Secretary, candidate for leader in 2015, MP for Streatham; Tom Watson, incumbent Deputy Leader, MP for West Bromwich East. Endorsements. Debates. The Labour Party has confirmed that there will be 9 official debates between Corbyn and Smith, of which 6 currently have confirmed places and dates. 1. Jeremy Corbyn refused to attend any debate hosted by Channel 4, Daily Mirror, The Guardian. 2. A location and media organisation were not established in time. Opinion polling. The polls in this section have been undertaken by media pollsters known to use industry-standard polling methods. Final candidates before close of nominations. The polls below were conducted before nominations for the leadership closed and therefore may include Labour politicians who will not be candidates. Polls show both free choices among all candidates and constrained choices among particular pairs of candidates. Before the EU referendum, the polls below were conducted prior to the referendum on the United Kingdom's membership of the EU taking place. In the aftermath of this event, Jeremy Corbyn was accused of undermining the campaign to remain in the European Union and faced a string of significant resignations from his shadow cabinet.